We begin the round of 8. One of those playoff drivers wins today. They're going to NASCAR's promised land in the Championship 4. Off we go in Sin City.
See, Allgaier actually moved up in front of Connor as soon as he got cleared. We have that clean air around the bottom. The bottom, for some reason, in the spring race was even kind of the preferred lane, and we referenced that, Adam. It's like normally the outside at these 1.5 miles is better, but the bottom was dominant here in the spring.
You just feel like the momentum off of 2 in that outside lane is going to sling you forward, and it doesn't. Allgaier leads. Jones down low trying to get second, but Zilich not going away in the 88.
Yeah, you saw Zilich look like he almost got Jones a little bit loose on the bottom. Eric's giving him a push now down the front stretch. What's he going to do with the momentum has as they enter into turn 1? Allgaier is committed to that white line. He said it in the pre-race show. Staying on that white line as far as he can around the corner. A lot of grip down there for the guys.
Zilich to second, so teammates from JRM 1-2. Teammates racing for third. Eric Almirola, the 19, gets that third spot. Jones falling back, and here comes a non-playoff driver, Nick Sanchez, in that blue number 48.
Yeah, did you see Christian Eckes in the middle of 3 and 4? I don't think there was any contact, but he got extremely loose as Taylor Gray was able to get inside of him.
We're about to have a replay of how the spring race ended with Allgaier leading and Almirola in second. 19 down inside of Zilich and trying to get that runner-up spot away.
Yeah, Connor's just wanted to have one lap around the bottom, kind of normal. As you see the 19 overdrove that corner intentionally, trying to clear the 88. Now he's going to slide up in front of him.
Now, I thought we were going to see that crossover, 88 driving down low, but he just couldn't get there.
Yeah, it seemed like Connor maybe lost just a little bit of momentum right there.
Just saw the flash. Allgaier turned the fastest lap of the race, the Xfinity fastest lap. You see the purple stopwatch in our bumper. And you also see the 8 playoff drivers highlighted in blue. One of them wins today. Their name will be highlighted in green, signifying they have advanced to the Championship 4. You referenced Eckes. Here he is, racing for position. Jesse Love in the 2. The 1 is Carson Quapple. 21 Austin Hill didn't advance in the playoffs, but he is always good on the 1.5 miles.
You know, look how committed everybody is to the bottom right now. I'm hoping that as the tires start to wear off, we saw a second and a half, maybe almost 2 seconds of fall off at the end of practice, that guys will start having to search around, trying to find some grip. We know that the preferred lane is around the bottom when there's a lot of grip, but we're going to hope that this track can widen out just a little bit.
Sieg got out of line, tried to get a spot away from Quapple. Looked like it almost got away from him in the 39. Let's go look back and look at the start of this race.
Have a little bit of a stack up right there. You see some of those guys having to jump out of line. Shouldn't be any issues with them. They all got back in line. They want you to stay in line until you get to the start-finish line before you can pull out. But a little bit of an accordion effect right there.
One of the drivers in the middle of that, playoff driver Sammy Smith. And if you go back to this race a year ago in the playoffs, it was a restart where things got stacked up, tore up the nose of his race car, and really took him out of contention. Smith not great in qualifying today, back in the 18th spot right now. The worst of those still alive for the championship.
Jones fading just a little bit here. He looked good in practice, seemed optimistic about his car, but just doesn't have the grip that he needs. He's racing his teammate Taylor Gray right there. Ooh, sliding up in front of him.
This is the Toyota onboard. Brandon Jones back to 5th. Gray slides to the 6th position after going by his teammate. They're going back and forth here for that spot. And that next car you see sneaking in, Christian Eckes, is one here in the Truck Series. Didn't make the playoffs as a rookie, but he circled this event saying, I know I can get it done. Has always been one of his better racetracks. And Jesse Love pulls out of line with him. Looked like the 2 was going to make it 3 wide into the corner. He thinks better of it.
Yeah, and Jesse Love had an incredible qualifying lap going and missed 3 and 4. As you see, he gets to the inside of Eckes, who got tight behind Taylor Gray. Going to get a push maybe from his teammate right there behind on the apron. I think both those RCR cars are going to be good. I thought Love was a little better in practice. Heard that pep talk. I'm with you. I love hearing RC get on the radio. Danny Stockman is crew chief. Those guys are committed and they're hungry.
I love the respect when you talk about Danny Stockman, the crew chief, who's a veteran, and the young driver Jesse Love. 2nd year from California, both seasons he's qualified for the round of 8. Man, he put that left front of the white line, and that Chevrolet was dancing a bit. but Love is up to 6th in the running order.
One thing pretty encouraging right here, you see Eckes on the outside of Austin Hill. It's not just totally bottom dominant down in 3 and 4. It seemed like Eckes was able to get a little bit of momentum. You see Carson Kvapil in that #1 Bass Pro car right behind them, running just a little bit higher as well. Hopefully they can get that worked in.
Our focus has been in the top 10, but Sheldon Creed going in the wrong direction. 00 has fallen to 20th. Here's their team radio.
I don't know, for whatever reason, I'm just super on top of the racetrack. Yeah, copy. I told him that a couple laps ago here. Just hang on to it. We'll keep working on it.
So what he's referencing right there is just no grip. Like when you say you're on top of the track, you just, when your car's in the track, you feel like you have a lot of grip, in control. He just, you know, they've got a baseline from what they had in practice, and he thinks the grip level has just dropped off significantly. The lap times are quite a bit slower, so I would assume everybody's feeling that, and on top of that, in that dirty air, just no grip, as you see. Got a little battle right here for second.
Almirola about got there earlier. Then he lost that spot, now back underneath the 88. These two going back and forth. It's been good stuff watching them race behind Justin Allgaier. About a second behind the race leader is this duo going for the runner-up spot.
And the one thing, if you go back, ooh, look at Allgaier actually searching around a little bit in the middle of the racetrack in 3 and 4. Has a little bit of room, breathing room right there. He's either just searching for grip to see if he can find something better, or his car does not feel good on the bottom of that end. So he's just, you know, trying to find where he can create the best lap time. Really not any quicker than Zillich, who's in second right now. They're all searching around, trying to find it.
Just over 10 laps in here in Las Vegas. Justin Allgaier started on the pole, and he's been the man in charge. And this move was key for Allgaier to get ahead of the curve and take the top spot. The reigning champ has his eyes on a return trip to the championship 4, 7 in command.
Men, get ahead of your curve.
To celebrate the playoffs and having our first full year of NASCAR on the CW, we're giving away boxes of NASCAR trading cards courtesy of Panini. Scan the QR code to enter. I have a few
We got
guys
to get you your own card.
Oh, you think I need
in the position you're in right here. Arms crossed,
I'm going to tell you, the
microphone on.
The market for that would be huge. I know Sam Mayer's got one. Let's check in there. Playoff driver in the 15th position, Kim.
Yeah, and coming into this race, Sam was really optimistic. Then after practice, talked to him, and maybe he lost a little bit of that confidence, but there might be bigger issues for the 41 team. Take a listen to the most frequent radio.
Losing oil pressure. Tampa's 250. Oil latest flashing at me. And just losing a little bit of cylinder. Tampa's 300. I can't see pressure.
So losing both oil pressure and voltage. Jamie, how concerned would you be only 20 laps into this race if you were getting that from your driver?
Well, really concerned. I thought I heard him say the oil temp was hot. I didn't hear the voltage. The pressure dropping, I mean, gosh, normally you either have oil pressure or you don't. His lap times obviously aren't the fastest, but it's not like he's crawling out there right now. So I think your hope as a crew chief is that there's just a gauge that's malfunctioning, and that is a possibility. We've seen that happen more than once this year.
Saw Zilich go back and forth for second with Almirola. He might lose the third position to his best buddy, Jesse Love, driving to the front, up to third now.
Two cars fast today, Adam.
Yes, he is.
I've been watching him, been able to make the bottom work. He's passed some cars here. Obviously didn't have the qualifying lap he wanted. A really good 1 and 2, missed it in 3 and 4. But look at the 2 car. I mean, the left front fender is below the white line. That car is hooked up right now.
Here's what I would say about him, too. If you go back to the spring, he finished third, and he did that after they had a penalty for an uncontrolled tire. So the finish, even though it was third, really didn't show off how good they were in that race, and he's able to complete the pass.
I can tell you, when you pass the 88 this year and drive away, things are going your way, for sure. The 88's been the best car we've known the last 17 weeks.
And when Zilich is running outside the top 2, you're like,
the world's coming to an end.
The sky is falling. Here's their team radio as Brandon Jones goes knocking on the door.
Holy this wind is crazy. It's pretty gusty here, so kind of stay the same, and then it picks up every once in a while. Probably gets a big gust every once in a while.
And we get a caution. Debris on track. Saw one of the NASCAR monitors that was focused on that. And, this comes at an interesting time on how you manage the race. You get it 24 laps in, 21 laps to go in the stage. Might be a little early to flip it. And you got 4 sets of tires laying, but you want to make sure you got a couple of sets of tire stickers in the pit area for that final stage. So, you know, someone might be willing to gamble here and come down and get a set of tires, maybe come down, put on no tires, go fuel and an adjustment, but giving up a set of tires midway through the stage, you know, would be
Long
surprised
race.
if we see someone up front do that.
Yeah, it'd be tough to do if you're, especially for one of these playoff guys. Make sure you've got what you need for the end of this. I couldn't tell what that was. It was fairly large on the backstretch, but it was hard to make out if it was a brace or exactly what was laying on the track over there.
Yeah, I saw that surface a couple of times on one of our other monitors, so I knew that NASCAR was keeping an eye on it, and eventually they felt like they needed to throw the caution for that debris on track.
See, the pits were open. Nobody yet. Any takers? It's looking pretty lonely down there. 00 definitely needs, yeah, Sheldon Creed, it's a good time. Even if they don't put their tires on, they can come in. If anything, you can just see if if you have a tire going soft.
They had fallen outside the top 25. Here's the 00, Dylan.
And Sheldon had come on the radio and just revalidated their concerns about being on top of the racetrack. Said he was super loose and just having to basically creep around the bottom. So as you see here, they're not going to change tires, but Jonathan Toney, the crew chief, said they're going to make a big swing at it, wedge and track bar there to just try to help the 00 at least stay on the lead lap here. I think that was the biggest concern there under green, is they were maybe going to be in danger of losing a lap. So hopefully these adjustments will help.
Caution, perhaps a bailout for Sheldon Creed. One of our playoff drivers off to a slow start. No issues for the reigning champ. Been a strong outing so far for number 2. These are the faces that you need to know. All of them entered today, believing they are the one that will celebrate in 3 weeks on the big stage in Phoenix. CW Sports coverage of the NASCAR Xfinity Series is brought to you by Progressive. Save when you bundle home, auto, and motorcycle insurance. Visit Progressive.com. Toyota, let's go places. And by Credit One Bank, NASCAR American Express Card. You know, we did practice and qualifying earlier. The temperature was 85 degrees. If you just look, it's a beautiful Saturday in Las Vegas, but it is windy.
Unless you have a hat on. The wind is gusty. I mean, it's blowing 18.5 miles per hour right down the backstretch, gusting up to 30. You see that flag. Drivers can see that as they exit the corner. And what happens is it makes you loose into 3 because you have a tailwind, but it makes your car feel really good in 1. And it messes with you in the car because your car feels so stuck in turns 1 and 2. You then overdrive turn 3.
Ready for the restart? The field is set for the Echo Park restart zone. Echo Park Automotive, where car buying is easier, better, and happier. Allgaier, the control car inside of Almirola.
I think the guy we got to watch is who's right behind Allgaier. Jesse Love, you see right there, is he going to make it 3 wide? He is.
As soon as they got that start-finish line, he said, I'm pulling out of line, and there he goes.
Yeah, and a lot of times that won't work because you'll lose the momentum on the inside. And see if the 19's able to clear him right here as they go down the backstretch. No, Love's still inside of him right there. I'm telling you, the 2 car, oh, he got loose a little bit right there. He's able to stay on the bottom.
Almirola, outside lane, going to slide down, take the race lead. Zillich right there as well.
Yeah.
Crossing over at the start-finish line, 88 is.
A little bit of blocking going on from the 2, and the 88 gets inside of him. Jesse Love, I think, needs to be on the bottom. That's where his car has looked the best. You see Allgaier's right behind him, running that bottom, going to get to his inside. It's one of those things, if he just could have cleared the 19, the difference this would have made.
It's just a reminder of how big momentum is on a restart at one of these mile-and-a-half racetracks. You gotta have it.
Well, you almost wonder, should the two have saved doing that, right? Because the next time we have a restart, all of the spotters, if the two's behind him, is going to remind him, he hung the 7 out, he'll probably do it to you too.
The other side of that is, though, you know, you're 20 laps, maybe just outside of 15 laps to go to the stage when you get the restart. If you can get the lead, get the clean air, win a stage, you control the race.
Yeah, I get it.
When it doesn't work out, right, it's the other side of the equation, as you said. Ryan Sieg continues the climb, 39 up inside the top 5.
Wow, what a run for him. We talked about it, ran second here a year ago, probably had the best car at the end. Allmendinger was able to get the win, but the 39, we've had high expectations for him all year long.
Talk about momentum, and it was in the middle of a green flag run when Sieg had all that momentum last fall in this race. Almost got around Allmendinger, couldn't quite complete the pass. Allmendinger goes on to win the race. Sieg was second, one of his 5 career runner-up finishes. Eckes having a good day. Sanchez has drifted a bit since he had that early pop-up inside the top 5. And Sam Mayer, I mean, not having a great start to this race, but here he is in the top 10. He wants those stage points.
So the one thing that could be happening, and I've had this happen before, is when you have these massive wins and you get that big gust of wind, like down the front stretch, it will bog the engine down. You think about it, it's a 30-mile-per-hour wind. That changes the pitch of the engine. Maybe the fact that if that gauge is messing up, listen, there's a lot of mental games that happen in a race car. They know how much is on the line, how important this race is, to make it to the championship. So maybe a little bit of frustration, but it looks to me he's up to 9th. That engine seems to be running right now.
When you look at the impact of the points on where they're running, Zilich at plus 80, Allgaier at plus 45. Both came in a really good spot, and they've only helped themselves as we hit now 12 laps to go in the stage. Eric Almirola is leading. He led 51 laps here in the spring, won a stage, was second to Allgaier. I'll tell you what, though, this could be a fun race to the end of the stage because Connor Zilich is hanging right there, and they've already had a good battle earlier racing for second.
He is, and the one thing that I want you to watch is Connor Zilich is behind him, is if he can stay a little bit lower, farther around the corner. Now Zilich is going to choose to run the middle through here, try to miss the bump, see if he can generate a little bit of momentum. But what I saw the last time they went through 3 and 4 is Connor was able to run just a little bit lower, longer around the corner. And that's just something that, as you sit and watch, that car is handling better because of that. See both of them get down on the line. You see how Connor's just that little bit lower right there? That can make a big difference in momentum down the front stretch.
You can look at all the stats you want, and right away, Zilich is really good. I think the one most impressive trait to me for him in his rookie season, the ability to improve as the race goes on.
Absolutely. Now, Eric Almirola saw what happened the last lap. Connor ran through the middle. Eric's changing it up a little bit, decided to run that line. Connor had to make a quick decision. It looked like he almost missed the bottom that last time through there. See both of them run the bottom again. Connor, once again, though, just a little bit lower. It takes a lap or two at him to get that momentum built up in order to generate the pass.
3 playoff drivers inside the top 5. Almirola, part of the Owners' Championship, is leading. Talked about Ryan Sieg. Can't say enough about the day for Christian Eckes in 6th. Austin Hill up there as well. Sam Mayer has climbed to 8th. Every position he gets is big as we talk about stage points, and we'll pay him out in what will be 8 laps to go this time around as we look toward the end of stage 1.
The other thing that's sticking out to me is I know Jesse Love almost got to the lead on that restart, fell back to 4th. You see him top of your screen behind Allgaier. If this race will stay green, it looks to me like the 2 car is the best car on the long run. If we can get a long run like we had in March, that'll pay big dividends for the 2 car.
I just think this race is so hard because practice is middle of the day. You race late afternoon into the evening. Track is changing, that long run. I mean, this is a tough day for everybody. Carson Kvapil, 11th.
Oh, these two have been going at it for a while. They were 3 wide a little bit ago. As you see, 25 sneaking underneath the 18 right there.
William Sawalich in the 18, DNF here in the spring, wrecked on the opening lap. Saw Harrison Burton there, And got to pay off that he announced this week he will not return to AM racing in 2026. Should know pretty soon what his future plans hold, but we know he will not be back driving that 25. Such a great job by him this year getting them into the playoffs.
Here you go, Jesse Love. I talked about it. Really good on the long run. You see, able to run. Gosh, he can run so low on the racetrack. And Allgaier mentioned in the pre-race show that was the key here in March of him being able to win, is just run lower, longer than all these guys. I think Jesse's car is a little bit loose, so that's why he can run the bottom, but he tends to get loose in these situations right here with the car to his outside. I think he looks a little bit better in turns 3 and 4 than he does 1 and 2. See if he can clear Justin. Justin's going to race him hard, knowing that getting down to the end of the stage, just 6 laps to go.
So tight, almost contact as they hit turn 3. Love able to make the pass, 2-car up to 3rd. Let's get a report. Brandon Jones, playoff driver, back in 18th, Dylan.
Yeah, we'll give you a Toyota driver update on the 20, who has just hemorrhaged spots here after this restart. He was tight on the first run, and when they fired off, it seems to have just gotten worse. He said on throttle, it just does not turn. And this is not what they wanted. As one of the teams that really had this one circled as one that wasn't a must-win, but they had to have a good day, had to capitalize on the strength of their mile-and-a-half program. One of those goals was stage points. They were in a position at the end of that first yellow to get some. They were up front in the top 5, and since then have dropped from 3rd, basically, or 6th, I guess, where they restarted, to now 18th. So they're going to have to take a big swing at this 20 car here to try to get the balance back in the right direction and kind of salvage a decent day.
Yeah, I mean, he's lost 15 spots. The one thing I would say that helps Jones, there's only 4 playoff drivers inside the top 10 and in a position to get stage points. So while you might not get one, there's some other guys that aren't getting them either, and maybe at the end of the day, that math all helps you out.
The other thing that you got to keep in mind for all of these guys is if your car's not good right now, this race is going to go into dark, and the balance is going to change for all these guys. They're going to have to keep up with it. The track tends to get freer. That might help someone like the 20.
Sun will set in an hour, and not only will the track change, these drivers are going to have to deal with the sun going down. Here's Sammy Smith radio. He's scored 18th right now as he goes around Jones.
Just have no power. Like, I don't know what the problem is. I've got to have a problem. Like, I'm getting pulled. Yeah, I mean, just not on the gas hard enough. I mean, I feel like just needs grip right now. So they're going to make a swing at it here.
Got to think that's the win, right? To have 2 guys say the same thing. And his reference was more that it seemed like he was getting pulled on the straightaway, but maybe it's the guys getting a little bit of draft. But to hear 2 people say that and knowing that the wind's gusting up to 35 miles per hour at him, I got to think that's what they're feeling in the car.
I just think about the start to the round of 12 versus the start to the round of 8. By this time at Bristol, he was already done for the evening. So he's way ahead of the curve right now when you consider the results of the first race in each round so far.
I also laugh at that because we heard Sammy talk to the crew chief spotter, and then we heard just the crew chief and spotter, and he's like, nah, he's just got to get on the gas.
Right.
I'm like, Sammy doesn't want to hear that.
Final lap, stage 1. Going to pay some points out here. Eric Almirola out front. Won a stage here in the spring, as we said. Strong race car. Joe Gibbs Racing has won here on 4 different occasions. And it was a Joe Gibbs Racing Junior Motorsports battle in the spring. 19 gets the green and white checkered flag. Great stage points for Connor Zilic, who came in 57 points above the cut line. He will pad that. Love with a great start. Allgaier in the top 5. Ryan Sieg there as well. Only other playoff driver to get points, Sam Mayer, who was 8th. Second caution of the day is we wrap stage 1. And this round of 8 all begins here at Las Vegas. Next Saturday, we're at Talladega. And we introduce you to the Championship 4 in 2 weeks' time in Martinsville, Virginia. Glad you're with us here on CW. CW Sports coverage of the NASCAR Xfinity Series is brought to you by Progressive. Save when you bundle home, auto, and motorcycle insurance. Visit Progressive.com. Toyota, let's go places. And by Golden Corral. Golden Corral honors our nation's heroes. Stage 1 complete. NASCAR Xfinity Series at Las Vegas. Eric Almirola out front in that first stint of our event this evening. This reminder, the CW Wednesday, a News Nation primetime event live from the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. Chris Cuomo, Stephen A. Smith, and Bill O'Reilly. 3 unique perspectives, one stage, and a nationwide conversation. Cuomo live from the Kennedy Center, the News Nation Town Hall, Wednesday, 8/7 Central. It's on the CW.
That will be interesting.
It will be.
That will be good.
Let's look at stage points from our first run tonight. These are the playoff drivers and where they rank. 4 got a goose egg. Connor Zilic got some points, quite honestly, he didn't need. But here's what I would say. Only one driver is guaranteed to point their way to Phoenix. And with that, you keep an eye on Zilic and Allgaier. And if one of them's not going to be able to win in the next few weeks, their margin between the two could be something we talk about. Both getting significant stage points here, and a good comeback for Sam Mayer to earn 3 stage points.
Yeah, Mayer thought he had that issue, recovered, and was able to get 3 points. That's huge.
Playoff anxiety, you know what I mean? He thought something was wrong there. Push the panic button, everything's going to be just fine. Progressive pit road is open. Almirola leading them down. Zilic, Love, Allgaier, Ryan Sieg, your top 5. Who's going to be in control as we begin stage 2? Here they are, Kim.
Remember, Eric Almirola finished second here in the spring, hoping to best that today by 1 spot, take home the trophy. He said, though, it was better that run after being way too loose the first run, so they will not make any major adjustments. Jesse Love, the middle of your screen, balance really good. He said snug on exit. They'll put on fresh tires, Sunoco fuel, no adjustments from Danny Stockman. And then finally, Connor Zilic at the bottom, he said the car is scary, mainly because of the wind, needs lateral grip. Said he's sideways entering turn 3, but he does not want it to be any looser.
Race off Progressive pit road.
Whoa, how about that?
They're getting it done everywhere.
Yes.
+2 for Love. Almirola falls to second. You know, the RCR teams do great because Hill goes +3. Zilic lost a couple. Allgaier falls to 5th. Restart for our second stage. When we come back, Jesse Love will be in charge. Getting ready for stage 2 at Las Vegas. Whelen caution lights are on. Whelen, the official warning lights of NASCAR and America's most trusted manufacturer of emergency lights and sirens. Jesse Love's got a fast race car, got a fast pit crew as well. He's in charge of the field as we get set for this second stage. Here's their team radio.
All the way, outside. Watch yourself here. You're clear. Flash 2 red, down speed. We got a bypass. Yeah, baby! Hell yeah, Derb.
A little excited there, and I like it, Adam.
I just wish we could have, worked in a little Richard Childress there. You know what I mean?
That would have been perfect.
To bring us all back to level.
I also like the fact that Jesse's going to have his teammate Austin Hill behind him. We saw, Jesse make it 3 wide on Allgaier. I think Hill, knowing what Jesse has on the line, even though he wants to win the race, I think he'll be a little nice here to teammates, even getting pushed out front.
Control cars taking the inside lane every time today. Here comes Love and Almirola headed to the Echo Park restart zone. Stage 2 underway at Vegas.
I think Jesse's going to need to clear him right here off 2. We saw the 19 get a huge run through 3 and 4 last time, but he's not going to be able to. Still side by side down the backstretch. Oh, he's right on his door. It's got to make that 2 car so loose. Gives him a little room here through the middle.
Love is working that white line. Almirola not going away in the outside lane.
Look at him side draft, both of them.
Look at Zilich getting the run. Looked outside.
Zilich's going to play a huge factor in the 19. If he can give him a push here down the backstretch, they're going to have the momentum.
I think Zilich wants to push him out there and then drive by him. Almirola gets the top spot. An assist from the 88 of Connor Zilich.
Look at the 88 go through the middle of the corner right there. It looked like the 2 had him cleared. Connor gassed it up, was able to have that speed.
Almirola slides down in front of Love.
You got to think that we talked about the inside. That's where the leaders chose each time, but the outside's gotten the lead. I want to remember that later in this race if we get a restart.
I'm like you, though. I feel like, who's behind me on a restart can play, such a big role.
There's contact.
Zilich and Love, the 2 best buddies, getting together, racing for second.
Connor all over the back of Jesse Love right here, just trying to get him cleared.
Austin Hill hanging around in 4th. Sam Mayer in the top 5.
A little bit, this is just side drafting. These guys both see Connor moving down, trying to slow down the progress of the 2. The 2's moving up, doing the same thing. You want to have that momentum on the entry to the corner. Hopefully you can drive in just a little bit deeper and clear that car on the outside.
How about Allgaier lost a spot on pit road, back to 6, trying to get it back inside of Mayer for a spot.
Didn't have the restart that he needed, but again, you see 7 just working that line, able to exit a little bit lower. It gets that car tight right in front of him.
And this stage a little bit shorter after everything cycles through with the pit stop, so the run not quite as long. The aggression will be on high.
Looked like Sam got really tight on the exit of 2 as Eckes gets to his inside. Oh, the 39 gets loose inside of him.
I mean, that's what you talked about. You got to be aware of it, right? If you're in that inside lane, you can get sucked around. We've seen it so many times at this place.
Yeah, and all those guys are guarded. When you have someone on your outside, you're guarded down the straightaway, leading into the corner, knowing what you got to do later in the race. No one gives. Everyone gets on each other's doors.
88 radio riding 3rd right now. Here's Zilich and crew.
Oh my God, that might be the most frustrating thing ever, is you're out there like trying to focus on what you're doing, and if they don't hear that in the pits and it just continues on and on and on, it sounds like someone's radio was either, like the button either wasn't working, or it could be somebody even in the trailer out in the pits. They don't even know that they're doing it. So at that moment, normally all the crew guys will throw their hands in the air, turn their radios off, and just let it be between the spotter and the driver.
Hey, let's drop back outside the top 15. Sheldon Creed right now finds himself 18th. I'd say ahead of schedule based on those early problems in the pit stop at that first yellow, Dylan.
Yeah, and they did make some changes again when they brought him down and took tires at the end of the first stage just to try to get him tightened up. Balance was still pretty free even after they took that big swing at it. So he at least got it better, and they told him on the radio, this is going to be a new car for you. We're going to reset here. Let's go to work. So he's done a good job. He's just inside the top 20 right now, but car seems to be a little bit better. Brandon Jones is another one, too, that we talked about. They had a tire going down on the right rear, which is why he dropped all those spots. So that explains the issues for the 20.
Jones 14th right now, battle for the lead. Love right there with Almirola.
We said this, you know, early in the last stage. If you get a little bit of a longer run, doesn't look like the 2-car has the short run speed, but his long run speed it's the best of anybody today. And the trend in this race is to get some longer runs. You see him trying to work some different lines, a little higher on entry. Look at how low he is. Getting that fender all the way below the white line. A lot of grip down there for him.
Getting some of those shots looking down the back straightaway, sun going down. And what kind of a factor will that be for all these drivers as it sits lower and lower behind the grandstands and halts your visibility coming off of turn 4. Boy, Love is just dogging Almirola here.
Yeah, he's got to get to his inside off of 2 so they can cut drag race, you know, down the backstretch, because the 19's running the bottom, which is obviously where Jesse needs to be. You see Jesse working his hands back and forth inside of the car. You just lose so much grip when you're directly behind someone. On this end of the track, the 19's been running a lane up, which has left Jesse the bottom, which has been, oh, see, now he changed it up again. That's what you do. If you're the leader, you just don't do the same thing over and over again. It's not just that you're trying to find where your car's the best, but you screw up the guy behind you. Even if it's not the better lane for you, you kind of throw that guy off of where he's going to run. It does seem like the bottom is dominant in 3 and 4.
The other thought I would wonder about here, Jamie, is if you're Jesse Love, you've got a 1-second advantage over 3rd place Connor Zillage. And what kind of opportunities does that provide to experiment, knowing that, you know, you're out in front of the guy in 3rd, and if you lose a little ground to the leader, it's not going to be the end of the world. There you see that, son. Really starting to get a glimpse of that.
Yeah, and this reminds me so much of the race we saw in March with Allgaier and Almirola, where it looked like the guy in 2nd was quicker, but it's hard to get the speed generated without the top coming in at these tracks and get the pass. I mean, Eric's just kind of going where he thinks Jesse needs to be. I'd love to see Jesse try to run high and see if he can make any momentum up, but it just seems like the bottom is where he wants to be, and it's where there you go, right there. See, he moved up. See if he can generate any type of a run. I think you almost got to carry that further around the corner, though, like you're slowing down and getting pointed and just not able to carry momentum like that.
5 playoff drivers inside the top 10. Carson Kvapil up to 9th. He didn't get stage points in that opening stage. Just about halfway through stage 2 is Almirola in front of Love. Tuesday on NXT, don't miss an all-out women's battle royale where the winner gets a shot at JC Jane in the NXT Women's Championship. Catch an all-new NXT Tuesday, 8/7 Central, right here on the CW. Great to have you with us on a Saturday night, Las Vegas Motor Speedway with Jamie McMurray. I'm Adam Alexander, Kim Kuhn, Dylan Welch hanging out down on pit road. Carla Metz in the CW garage, 20 laps to go, second stage. Almirola trying to get the sweep. A half a second in front of Jesse Love. Zilich and Allgaier in the top 5 as well. And in 5th right now is Austin Hill. How about this battle between two veterans?
You see again, just doing that side draft. Austin Hill trying to slow the momentum down. Justin's just trying to take his natural arc into the corner. We've seen that 2 or 3 times tonight of guys side drafting down the backstretch. Let's hear what Allgaier had to say.
Good work there, good patience. You can only block for so long being a jerk. Yeah, you were very patient there. All right, let's take off and go.
A little frustration there from the 7. Maybe making a light of it as well, but I think he was aggravated with Austin doing a little blocking.
I just love that that happens. You and I are on the chip watching it. And Eddie DeHaan, who's got, I mean, fully invested in this team winning a championship and just steady as can be, right?
Boy, yeah, see alive. Come on, wake up.
Now, Jim Poulter, although I think his stress level's gone down a little bit this year after winning a championship, he'll get animated too.
Those guys are much more relaxed this year, without a doubt. I mean, and Justin referenced that after winning the championship. He had such a good car at the start, got behind on that restart. It seems like that car doesn't fire off as well. Very similar to Jesse Love, and it's been a little harder to pass than what we've seen. And honestly, I feel like it was that way in March. I was hoping the hotter temps tonight would maybe widen the racetrack out a little bit, but it's just been bottom dominant all night long for almost all of these guys. The only people we see go to the top are the ones really struggling with handling. Everybody else right around the bottom.
Referenced when we went to break a while ago, 5 playoff drivers in the top 10. Carson Quapple not getting stage points in that first run of the race, in position to get a point here. You know, we talked so much last week about Sammy Smith and Taylor Gray and that battle at the cut line. Carson Quapple barely sneaks through in his rookie campaign to the round of 8, Dylan.
Yeah, and in this rookie campaign, I talked to him this morning, and he said, look, 1.5 mile racetracks for me still are something that I'm a little uncomfortable with. I'm trying to learn, you know, as a short track guy, you really generally only have one lane. So when you come to these big, fast racetracks where the corners are bigger and you've got a lot more options, he said, it's taken me some getting used to, but this place I feel really good at. They got a good restart to advance them into stage points positions, but now the message from Andrew Overstreet as crew chief is discipline, wrapping the bottom, being consistent, hitting the same marks lap after lap. Easier said than done, but now that they've kind of settled into some clean racetrack, that's the focus on the 1.
I think without a doubt, and I say this from experience, when you have a teammate that's having the success that Connor Zilich is having, especially with them both being a rookie, it makes what Carson's having a good season, but when Zilich is having a historical season, it beats you up. It beats your team up, and it's just hard, and I hate that for him. Just, you know, because I don't think he has run that bad. Obviously, they want to get to victory lane, but the success that Connor has had makes it harder on those other teams.
I think it would be hard on Allgaier, and he's won a championship and one of the best drivers all time in the series.
Yep.
Much less a fellow rookie in Carson Quapple. And now we go back to this battle for the lead.
Well, seemed like,
oh, look out. Austin Hill hanging on to it.
Hang on to that thing.
I mean, he's right in 5th. Seat goes by.
He thinks, I think that's the spotter saying we might have a tire going down. I think Austin just got on the apron, using it to turn the car just a little bit. Used just a little bit too much. You see Sieg's right behind him. Let's see if that plays any factor in this. Nope, you see that car? Look at that. What a save. Look at that.
Incredible. Sideways in the corner, gathers it up. And I realize they're spread out in the middle of this run, but he only loses one spot.
Well, and what happens when you start to correct that, if it hooks, like especially hitting the apron like that, it's head on into the outside wall. So great job by Austin to be able to hang on to that. Kim, what's he saying?
Yeah, nice save. Right before that, he said the car is absolutely not driving the same. He said it's so easy to snap loose. And he said after that, though, it'll jump tight very quickly. So disconnected that car is in terms of what it's doing as the sun continues used to set here at Vegas.
Yeah, nightmare for a crew chief. You just want to have one problem. If you're tight, it's it's easy to free the car up. If the car's loose, it's easier to tighten it up. But when you fight two things, you just have to pick the bigger one. And sometimes they can try to adjust multiple things on the car, but really hard to be able to fix.
His teammate having no issues right now. I mean, Love has been so consistent in this race. And even if he's not able to get around Almirola and win this stage with what will be 10 to go, he just keeps putting more and more stage points in the bank, which is huge when you talk about trying to advance to the championship 4.
Yeah, and I like seeing him just not run right behind Eric. Without a doubt, he's a little bit quicker than Eric is, but Eric's kind of committed to that bottom, and you see Jesse that last lap through 3 and 4 move up a lane, just trying to find a little bit of grip. Honestly, Adam, I think that it's going to become even more dominant as the sun goes down, because typically as the track gains grip, it's normally, it'll migrate to the bottom when you go from a daytime to a nighttime race. So these guys are going to have great pit stops, execute great restarts, get what they can. The 2-car, like I say, if they could make that thing take off just a little bit better, I think on the long run, he's the best car. It's like he struggles just a little bit for those first 2 or 3 laps, and that's where he's lost the lead both times.
Yeah, but you took the words right out of my mouth. It really magnifies what we'll have on pit road as far as the importance there, and then taking advantage on those restarts when you know you can go and grab a spot or two. Kim?
Yeah, Adam, both you and Jamie have mentioned restarts for the 2, and that's something that crew chief Danny Stockman harped on before the green flag even flew. Under the pace laps, he said, you have to focus on restarts all day long. He said, get you some, a very Danny Stockman phrase, but Jesse was so confident coming into this race. He told me he hit on some things on the sim, and the team has hit on some things overall on intermediates. They felt like they had a contending car that could take the win here this evening, Dylan.
The 8-car, Sammy Smith, felt that same way. Felt like in the spring they were good on the short run, so wanted to bring something back that was a little bit better on the long run. But it has been an uphill climb, to say the least, for Sammy Smith and that entire group, running in the 24th spot right now. The wind seems to be affecting their car maybe more than any other car. Sammy has come on the radio and said it feels like the wind is basically driving this car, and then out of nowhere, the last couple laps, he said it's on the verge of wrecking. Feels like something's broke maybe. There's just zero rear grip. So the 8-car, another group that is going to have to take a big swing out here on these stage 2 stops and continue to scratch and claw, as they've done all playoffs, just to try to make something out of this day.
It's so hard to play from behind. They did it in the round of 12. It looks like that's going to be the situation for everyone in that 8 camp in the round of 8 as well.
Yeah, and the 8-car's been off since they unloaded. He ran those first few laps in practice and thought it was on the splitter, and you could tell how bad it was by how animated Sammy was inside of the car. And you think back to Bristol, they had an engine issue early on. You mentioned it got behind. I would say tonight's even more frustrating for him, because it's just about getting your car to handle, and they just have not had it since they unloaded today.
As we head toward the end of the stage, want to pay off a driver that's made up some ground here, and that's Nick Sanchez, speeding at the end of stage 1 when they made their pit stop, but he's already back up to 13th,
wow,
staying in the game. They had speed early, drifted a little bit, and then the speeding penalty, which exaggerated their problems, but he's been able to hang around, and there he is in the 48, just outside the top 10 as we hit 5 laps to go, stage 2.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive to be able to get by that many cars. We talk about seeing Nick's able to run middle of 1 and 2 right here. You got to think if his car feels good there, it's a little easier to pass when those guys are running right around the bottom. But the affiliation that organization, that team has with RCR, and seeing how good Jesse Love is running. Well, look at that. I mean, right up against the wall.
That's encouraging,
really.
right?
Yeah, well, I mean, it is, especially if he's able to make lap time up there. You would think the spotters be screaming that somebody's doing that. His lap times are okay. They're not near as good as what the leaders are running around the bottom. So I would say Nick is probably just searching at the end of this stage, feeling around, and doesn't think he's going to get those 2 guys, the few in front of him. So you just search around and see if you can figure something out for this final stage.
Yeah, he's 3 seconds in front of Gray behind him, so the door is really open for him to go out and experiment, try to find some speed. Happy to hear that he's going to be back at Big Machine for his sophomore season in 2026, driving the 48. So with 3 to go in the stage, going to be 2.5 here. We focus on the front. Eric Almirola working some lap traffic. See if Jesse Love can utilize that to get back in the game, maybe steal a stage here. Coming up on Austin Green. 32 going to race hard to try to stay on the lead lap. 2 to go in the stage.
Yeah, it looked like Eric lost a bunch of momentum right there off of turn 4 as Love is able to close in 3/10 on that lap. You got to think lap traffic's played a huge factor in this. If Eric missed the corner, or maybe it's a big gust of wind. Look at the 2, though. I mean, continue to suck up right behind him. Whoa. Get to the inside here a little bit, see if he can pack some air. See the 2 gassed it up a little bit through the middle. Gonna get tight, slide up on exit. Maybe try to run whatever lane Eric doesn't down here in turns 1 and 2 and see if he can generate a little bit of momentum. You gotta make that decision right now on what lane you're gonna run. Eric's on the bottom. I like how the 2 has stayed a little bit higher right there on exit. See if he can get any speed built up. Just doesn't look like he has the grip up there, Adam.
Turn 3, final time, stage 2. Eric Almirola looking to get the stage sweep. That stage win he had here in the springtime was his first and only stage win of the year until he got stage 1 here tonight. He's going to take stage 2 as well, holding off Jesse Love here in Las Vegas. Third time in his career that Almirola has picked up the stage sweep. And the last time he did it, last fall, when he won in Martinsville, Virginia. Good stage points tonight for Zilich, Allgaier, and Sam Mayer get stage points again as well. It's a Saturday night in Sin City. You're watching the NASCAR Xfinity Series live on CW.
Luck definitely plays a factor.
Guys with more skill talk about luck less.
There is so much right place, right time.
Oh my goodness.
Taking a chance is a big part of our sport. When you take those chances, luck can definitely be on your side.
Presented by Powerball. Head to your local lottery retailer to get in the game today.
Try your luck and head to your local lottery retailer to make your picks and get in the game for tonight's estimated jackpot of $244 million. 2 stages in, NASCAR Xfinity Series, running the opening race in the round of 8, live in Las Vegas. And now we get our golden moment presented by Golden Corral. We didn't even need to vote on this one. 21 Austin Hill with quite a ride, amazing save, turn 4.
Yeah, watch how loose he gets right here. Man, that thing gets down on the apron. Thankfully, it doesn't hook. See Austin still ride it out. Look at the wheel. You see him still, get back up on the track. Great job.
It was almost like a moment of overconfidence. Oh, well, not done yet. Reels it in, and through all of that, lost exactly 1 spot on track as Ryan Sieg scoots by.
We did the golden moment by Golden Corral in the golden hour.
Indeed, we did.
Amazing.
Yeah. You writing scripts now?
Well, I don't know, maybe.
What would be your #1 lottery pick as you select for the Powerball? What would be the #1 number?
If it was during the Xfinity race, it'd be the 88.
There you go. Why not? He's 3rd at the end of the night, at the end of stage 2, I should say. But here he is when you look at stage points. He and Jesse Love, best of the bunch, both getting 17, 14 for Allgaier. 3 didn't get stage points, Jones, Smith, and Creed. Progressive Pit Road is open. It played a role at the end of stage 1. It'll be big again, Kim.
Yeah, and lots of cars complaining of a tight condition. In fact, all 3 cars you're about to see make spots asking to be freed up, including Eric Almirola. Said, look, snug in general, but it plowed those last few laps. I felt like the right front just absolutely quit. They will make an adjustment to free him up. Jesse Love in the center said, free me up just a little bit. I need that run a little bit longer in terms of how it lasts. You saw the chassis adjustment. He asked for that track bar adjustment just for James Stockman. And then again, tight on the 88. He said, I'm way too tight here. Free me up for the next run.
Race off Progressive Pit Road. I mean, we're getting to the final stage, and look at this. Zillage with a nice move. Thompson at +21. Got to be some kind of strategy there, perhaps even coming in. You know, you could have missed the pit box. Don't know exactly what happened there. Love loses 1, -3 for Almirola.
'26 missed their stall.
Welcome back to the Xfinity Series at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, getting ready to go for the final stage, and it's a good time to take a look at those Bristol-Myers Squibb playoff picture. Of course, no surprise, Connor Zilisch at the very top of this one. Allgaier in second, Love in third. Sam Mayer making up a little ground today as well. But let's go back to Zilisch. He told me earlier this week, he said, you know what, going into Vegas, I really don't need a miracle, and it's a really good place to be. He said, of course, the goal is to win, but we really want to do our best, right? We want to leave Vegas having a clean day, walking out with a lot of points. He entered Vegas with a 57-point lead over the Cut, which is the largest entering the round of 8 in series history. Of course, he set all kinds of records this year, but some that are on the table today. If he wins today, he'll be the youngest and the fastest to 12 career wins, and the youngest to win here in Vegas.
It's just incredible. He's rewriting the record books, and we talk about rookies and success. A couple of rookies had problems there on that cycle of stops. Carson Kvapil had a gun issue with the one, so he lost about 10 positions, and Eckes with a problem as well. And here you look at what Carla's talking about, just across the board, everything that Zilisch has been able to do this year, and it just keeps getting better and better, Jamie.
Yeah, look at that record for 10 different tracks he's been able to win at. And Adam, it just, you didn't see it at the beginning of the year. You knew he was talented, you knew he was going to run well at the road courses, but he has done just exceptional job, and his timing being at JRM this year, you know, where they clearly have the best cars, it feels like week in and week out at any type track that we go to. But Connor's done the most to make the most out of that situation.
Talked about the issues for Carson Kvapil and the one, his teammate. Let's get an update there with Dylan.
Yeah, they lost about 10 spots on pit road. Had the socket on the air gun break off in the middle of them making that pit stop. So obviously presents a challenge there. You see it. There's the socket there on the right, snapped just right off the gun. So had to get that replaced, and but it did cost him a bunch of spots in that stop.
We talk about, luck and being unlucky. Yeah, I think people make a lot of their luck, but that is just a, freak thing to have happen at a terrible time for the one car.
Well, they had a freak thing happen to him here in the spring when someone else's gas can went up under their car in a cycle of stops, and they short fueled it, had to come a second time under green. Eckes coming from deep in the field as well. They had to make a second stop. Front row here, the two best buddies, Connor Zilisch in control to his right, Jesse Love.
Yeah, and Zilisch took the inside. We've seen the outside be able to get the lead, but Connor got a massive launch right there in the restart zone. You see the 19s pushing the 2. That 2's gotten a little bit better. What about 3 wide right here? Brandon Jones on the outside of Sam Mayer. Oh, it's going to get tied at 2.
It's a restart. It's time to go. 3 wide to turn 3. Allgaier, Mayer, Jones, Sawallich is there. And how about the effort early from Corey Day? Driving the 17.
Corey Day it's been, a little contact right there with William Sawallich. No harm, no fouls. You see Day trying to get to the outside. A little bit of draft down the front stretch. Allgaier all by himself down there on the bottom. Looks like Day might actually get to his outside. Oh, he is. Gonna have that momentum down the backstretch. Allgaier's car is similar to Jesse Love's. It just seems like it does not fire off. You see contact with De Benedetto and Creed on the right hand of your screen.
Two great comebacks in this group. I mean, you got Creed in that bright yellow 00 outside Nick Sanchez. Both struggled early. Sanchez had the penalty. Creed that extra pit stop, but here they are knocking on the door of the top 10.
Yeah, and you saw Corey was clear by like an inch when they said clear, and then William had a little bit of a momentum on the outside, but fortunately no one tore up. You see Sammy Smith, a little bit of side draft, some frustration there. We saw them going crazy with the adjustments on pit road, Adam. I think I saw 4 rounds of wedge go in the left rear of that car. Not happy with the handling of the 8 car today.
Hidden Valley Ranch onboard camera. Sheldon Creed 11th, racing Sawallich. Kvapil after the problems on pit road, driving back through in the 1 up to 13th.
And the outside on that restart, we saw a lot of guys working the 2nd and 3rd lane, and the momentum. Curious to see if it stays up there, if it was just the dirty air and having all the cars on the bottom of the track. Connor got a nice little lead right here. You can see the 2s doing a little bit of blocking with the 19. On Jesse Love, you got to think in his mind, he's like, look, I just got to get 8 to 10 laps here. My car comes in fact that he moved up, though, already makes me think the handling might not be where he wants, or maybe the track is transitioning at him. We thought it would go to the bottom. Maybe it will slowly transition to the middle for these guys.
Yeah, a little bit more arc into 3, but everything else is great.
So that's the 2-car getting a little bit of coaching right there, and they've told us that Jesse likes that. You know, he's like, listen, if you see somebody doing something different or something that I can do, tell me on the radio. I want to hear all the information I can, and if I can do that, that's what I'm going to do inside the car.
Zilic checking a lot of boxes. He's gone over 1,000 laps led in his career in only his 33rd start. He's now led in 19 consecutive starts, which is amazing. And oh, by the way, just set the fastest lap of the race. You see the purple stopwatch. Xfinity fastest lap right now belongs to Connor Zilic, as if he needed any more points, right?
Yeah, I mean, Adam, it's unheard of. Like everything that Connor's been able to do this year, and it just continues. I kept saying at some point the law averages has to catch up with the 88, and they'll have a bad weekend, but that has not happened yet.
Jesse Love, right of your screen, able to dance around Eric Almirola as they continue to go back and forth. I mean, Almirola's there, but Jesse just trying to hang on to that second spot. This has been a good little battle here behind Zilic.
Brandon Jones on the left of your screen's made a tremendous recovery. Really struggled in the first stage. I think he was all the way back to 20th in that first stage. They've done a really good job adjusting on that car. I got to think the transition from day to night is helping the 20 as well. As you see, I love seeing the lanes. It's widened out a little bit. You see multiple lanes working in right now. All guys are committed to the bottom, the 20 and the 48. Both running that middle lane. Brandon's doing that on both ends and able to maintain, run good lap time. Ooh, it's getting close up front, Adam.
Look at this. I mean, we talk about Love in that second position. Almirola right there. Zilic not able to pull away.
Yeah, Zilic is going to want those guys to be side by side for a few laps here. I got to think Zilic had a really bad corner because he had a little bit of a lead. Lost about 3/10 on that last lap. The wind was huge earlier for him. Seems like that's calmed down a little bit.
Look at Almirola, wound up outside lane.
Oh yeah, look at that. It's almost like the track has widened out as the sun has went down, because we didn't see anybody able to make that outside work earlier. Is Zilic going to side draft him a little bit here? They're getting close on the straightaway.
Almirola's led 63 laps tonight. Took the green and white checkered flag at the end of stage 1 and stage 2.
Oh, they're both washing way up the racetrack. They're going to get stalled out and give Love an opportunity if they stay side by side right here. Look how loose the 19 is as they let off and transitioned from the straightaway into the corner. Oh, it's so tight right there.
All good here. Chase him down the hill.
Deep breath. A little bit of damage right there to the right front, maybe fender of the 88. See if that affects him. You see it's pushed that fender in. These things are sensitive on a fast track like this.
Not sure what role that played, but Almirola able to get around, pull in front of Connor Zilic for the race lead. Love waiting in the wings.
See, Connor starts to push up the racetrack right there. Eric's as high as he can go. Just a little contact. That left rear tire. Really curious, though, to see if it affects the balance of the 88 as they move forward. Rest of this race, I do like how this track's widening out, though.
You know, you didn't have to make a pit stop on fuel in stage 1 and stage 2. You'll have to make one in the final stage, and everybody's got 2 sets of sticker tires. Strategy could play a role. Love through to second. Almirola, Love, Zilic, Allgaier, Jones, your top 5 at Las Vegas. We've crossed the halfway point. NASCAR Xfinity Series racing, opening event in the round of 8. Las Vegas, Talladega, Martinsville to follow. The next 2 Saturdays on CW before we crown a champion a month from now in Phoenix. Eric Almirola wins the first 2 stages. He's led over 70 laps. He's in control right now. Love, Zilich, Allgaier, the top 5. And look at this duo here. Sanchez has driven it to up to the top 5 now as he gets to 5th. Jones has fallen back to 6th. It's remarkable to me the comeback for Sanchez tonight after the speeding penalty.
Well, he's been able to run all over the racetrack. You see Brandon running right up against the wall here. Both of these 2 cars, the 2 that have stuck out to me the most that can move around. Look at the run that you can generate around the top. He's going to be able to go the top. Yeah, he wants to run the top of both ends. That 20 car has really found something around the top of the racetrack, but he and Sanchez, it seems like those cars pretty versatile.
Probably 25, 30 laps away from a green flag stop if everything were to stay the way it is now in a green flag condition. So you wonder how do things play out over the long haul, but these 2 have been really good since we began the final stage.
What about the one right behind him? That's another one that I think's having oh, it's gonna be tight right there. Brandon got a big run off the top. But if you look right behind him, that car that we see in victory lane a lot, the 17 red, white, blue car, Corey Day. Talked about the amazing qualifying run he had at the Roval last week. God, Brandon and Sanchez are going at it, man. I
thought Jones was gonna get him there.
Sanchez needs to run he needs to run the top down here in 3 and 4 so Brandon can't get the run on him again. But let's see if Brandon's able to do it 3 laps in a row.
You know, I talk about the potential for green flag pit stops, and then I think about what Brandon Jones was able to do in that final stage at Kansas when his team executed so well on pit road. You see the numbers for Corey Day. The stat sheet for the night, finished top 10 in that 2nd stage. As good as he's been all night right now, trying for his 2nd career top 10 finish. This young kid from California showing it all off tonight, Dylan.
Yeah, and I think it is worth noting he was fastest in the first group of practice, fastest on the 10-lap average earlier today, and I think could have started further up. They had a car that, I don't know if it was good enough for the pole, but was on a really good lap before a bobble in turn 4. Coming back to a racetrack or a type of racetrack for the first time that he's raced at before. He has a 1.5-mile start earlier this year at Texas. He's raced here as well in the truck, so a place he's a little familiar with, more so than some of the other places, and he's showing it for sure. 17 cars been fast.
True student of the game. So much young talent across the board in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Zilich still in the headlines, but a lot of other good young drivers that pop up each and every week. And now we go to a veteran right behind this duo, Austin Hill, having a solid night in the 21. His day goes around Jones.
Yeah, Brandon, when you can make the top work, you can just pester the guys trying to pass you on the bottom because you generate so much speed down the straightaway. As you see, it's fighting for every spot right here. Clearly the 17's quicker, and if the 17 can just have a little momentum here, he'll have Brandon cleared as they get down into turn 1. Should be done with it.
I mean, how many times have we seen this tonight? Where we talk about someone and give them a position, only a lap later have to change our thought process on where everyone is because the pass goes in the other direction. And these 2 going side by side is just bringing that 21 into the conversation.
Well, and that's what's happened. You know, Brandon raced Sanchez really hard, and it brought Corey Day into it. Now he's racing Corey hard. It's like he's slowly bleeding, holding up all these guys, and they're running him back down. We talked about the great recovery he had. I don't know that his car is exactly where he wants it to be, but they've done a nice job as a team to get him in a better position.
Top outside the top 10. Some really good racing there as well. Among the cars you'll see in this group, 39, Ryan Sieg, Kim.
Yeah, currently in the 13th position after having run in the top 5 for the first half of the race. Why? Well, because of that end stage 2 pit stop. They came down with everybody, then had to make a 2nd stop to make sure all the lugs were tight. So now currently running in the 14th position, but that's actually a rebound after restarting 33rd from that 2nd pit stop.
Good recovery for the 1 car as well. That pit gun issue. Creed, though, I mean, he is just running right around the top on both ends, committed to it. I mean, that's full commitment right there, and his lap times aren't bad. I just don't know that that's the fastest the leaders, well, actually, as you look at his times aren't bad running around the very top. So that's so encouraging to me, Adam, because I didn't think that we would see that as the sun started to go down. Listen to how much throttle time. Always having to roll out of it right there a little bit on exit. Probably got a little bit tight.
Jones, talk about momentum and how it will take you out of the game. Race Corey Day brings Austin Hill into the conversation, and here they are competing for 7th on track. Top 5 with 76 to go. Almirola, Love, Zilich, Allgaier, and Sanchez. Next week, CW Sports Saturday is back with a full day of action. First, the NASCAR Xfinity playoffs heat up in Talladega. That will be good. Then it's CW football Saturday doubleheader as Washington State heads to Charlottesville to get 19th ranked Virginia, followed by Lafayette battling Oregon State. CW Sports Saturday next Saturday, starting 3:30 Eastern time. I guess it stands to reason. If it's a CW Sports Saturday, it's going to be on Saturday, right?
That would make complete sense to everybody else.
Overemphasizing it there. It all begins 3:30 Eastern time, 12:30 Pacific. It's been a Saturday to remember for Eric Almirola. Boy, he's been outstanding here in Las Vegas. Leading Jesse Love, Zilich, and Allgaier up there. Really status quo in the top 5 right now with 68 laps remaining.
Yeah, and I don't know what's happened to the 19. The last 2-3 laps, though, he's lost a lot of pace, and the 2 has been able to maintain that. I don't know if there's an effect. You see those lap cars a little bit ahead of the 19 right there. I don't know if that's changed the balance of his car. It looks to me like they're running a totally different line, but yeah, Jesse Love has run 2 to 3 tenths quicker the last couple of laps than Eric. 19's complaining that he's really loose. I can tell you, when you get in traffic, I think that'd make you tighter, but it normally just takes grip away, makes whatever balance you have, whatever issue that is, even worse. He was able to recover that lap, though. Maybe he made an adjustment inside the car to his line. See, Jesse's now having to deal with lap car Smithley.
Look at the updated standings here. Zilich at plus 76, Allgaier plus 38. We know at least one driver will go to Phoenix on points. Tied at the cut line, Mayer at plus 3. Jones has fallen below the cut here. Jesse Love having a great day, plus 19, running second on track. Remind everyone, too, Almirola part of the Owners' Championship equation. So they've got a lot on the line here with him leading out front.
And, you know, for the day that Jesse Love's had, 17 stage points and running second right now, you think he'd have a little more margin on it, but down to that cut line, it's tight. But when I look at Creed, Quapple, and Smith, man, to leave here 24 down, it's a lot of work to do in 2 races.
But I would say this, you know, Sammy Smith scored 1 point at Bristol with the engine failure. Left the opening race in the round of 12 minus 24. He scored 91 points in the last 2 races to get himself above the cut line.
It's possible.
And advance here to the round of 8. And hey, with Talladega coming where he won
and Martinsville
last year, and Martinsville can get crazy, you never know for sure. Been a quiet night for Sam Mayer, shown 9th right now.
Well, and he complained about, he thought an engine issue and that was losing oil pressure beginning of the race. Things don't fix themselves. We talked about maybe the wind being one of those issues, and maybe just a faulty gauge or a short. That engine appears to be running fine. I know that Sammy Smith was complaining about his engine as well early on in the race, but both of those engines still running. It doesn't look like there's any issues right now for those guys.
Talk about the problems for Ryan Sieg on that last cycle of stops. 39 has driven his way back to the top 10, and with 64 laps to go, we're right around 5-10 laps or so before we'll start to see some green flag pit stops. And that takes me to drivers who maybe don't have the track position they would like to run it long. And then when you manage the green flag pit stop, you want to make sure where all the traffic is as you merge coming back onto the racetrack. Here's Mayer going after Jones for 8th.
Well, and as spread out as all the cars are right now, it's really difficult for anybody to time that out where they're going to get out and have some clean air. You know, the difference in strategy, I like what we see in the top 3 is we've got one already on pit road, Dylan.
Yeah, it's Sheldon Creed, and he had reported a right front vibration, so this is, I think, a little earlier than they wanted, but nonetheless should be close enough, I think, to make it all the way from here, but they may start the cycle. They made a chassis adjustment, 4 tires and fuel.
After the early struggles, had driven his way back close to the top 10, was 12th when he gave up the spot to come to pit road.
Well, and if you think you have an issue, so many laps left in the race, you might as well pit, because if you blow a tire out, if you have a loose wheel, if something happens and you wreck, you're done. You're much better off to pit and not push the limit of that.
Well, and they're close, but here's what I would say. If you go to overtime here, I mean, you get a caution late, you're going to come get that last set of tires anyway. So I think everything will be all good there. Look at this. Creed coming to pit road.
Did he blow a tire out right there?
Wow.
It sounds fine there, but that was crazy. What we saw right there out of the double zero. I mean, it sounded like the transition off the banking. It's a hard pit road to get on. It's a kind of a decreasing radius as you come around. Turn 4, we see a lot of guys miss it. You know, Zilich missed it. We were here the first race, but that was weird. I've never. What happened to him right there?
I would say, though, for Creed, what a good job to execute, make sure you hit pit road speed. After that happens, I would think mentally it throws you off. It would be easy to screw that up, and we've seen it a lot at Las Vegas.
Well, speaking of pit road, I just got to think that Stockman's going to short pit this at least by 1 lap and hope he can leapfrog the 19. You definitely don't want to let the 19 pit before you, knowing the fall off in the tires. Pretty good fall off here. If you could pit 1 to 2 laps earlier, have a decent pit stop, not have any issues, and get in front, I think it's going to be hard for the 19 to get past the 2. Oh, look at that. The 19 washed up a little bit right here. 2's going to be able to beat his inside. Going to have him cleared.
Longest green flag run of the night. We've gone north of 40 laps. We've talked about this 2-car on the long haul. Jesse Love leading at Las Vegas as he gets around Eric Almirola.
Well, and then the roles almost flip, right? You're like, well, now the 19 might say, well, we're going to short pit on the 2 It's going to be look how close all those three are. It's going to be really exciting for us to see who gets the most aggressive on the pit box by maybe coming a little early. If you're the 2 car and you can get away a little bit here, might buy you a lap, Kim.
And we should expect playoff cars this time, as well as Justin Allgaier. He said that the right rear, he just completely lost it over the run. He looks for a little bit more longevity for the finish of this race, so they'll put 4 fresh Goodyear tires, Sunoco fuel on an air pressure adjustment, as we see both the 19 and the 2 make their way down pit road. You see the 41 of Sam Mayer, no major complaints. Actually a solid day for him after what he thought were early issues. As we watch cars make their way down pit road again, we are expecting both the 19 and the 2 in their pit boxes. And you see the 2 of Jesse Love. He said he's a little snug, but was overall pretty happy with the balance. They reminded him, stay disciplined on that paint. You need to roll the center speed just a little bit better. Also in Eric Almirola, he was a 3/4 number loose, but then went way too tight that run, Dylan.
Quapple is in as well, was really, really free that entire run, had slid out of the top 10, but still a nice recovery for them after that pit stop issues. You see this here, maybe a little slow on the right side. It looked like trying to go around to make a chassis adjustment to try and tighten him up 4 tires and fuel.
Allgaier was the first driver inside the top 5 to make a pit stop. He came from 4th. Here's Zilich, who was 3rd. And how crazy was it watching these drivers get onto pit road? Almirola actually got around Love, but then Love, through the cycle of stops, able to beat the 19 coming off of the pit lane. We'll see how it all cycles out here.
Yeah, Jesse Love maybe a little bit conservative coming to pit road. It almost looked to me like, see Zilich right here. See Zilich on the bottom of your screen. This will be the race for the lead.
Momentum.
Gosh, and he stayed out there. Oh, it's going to get so tight.
Up with the lap traffic. Love gets by Zilich, and Zilich might be able to get a spot. No, Almirola with the momentum drives by and maintains what will be the runner-up position once everyone else makes their pit stop.
I can't believe the 88 stayed out for those extra laps, and it was that close off of pit road. He must have done an incredible job getting on and off, had a little better pit stop.
Well, you got to believe he did a better job coming onto pit road just because of the way things played out for Almirola and Love.
Yeah, and you know, when you do that, when you come to do a green flag pit stop in Love, let's take a look at that real quick. You see Love's going to get on the brakes right here. And initially, I thought the 19 didn't know that he was going to pit, but then the 19's able to roll to his outside. That's so frustrating if you're Jesse Love. Maybe you're being a little too conservative coming to pit road. The 19 did a great job getting on, but then through the cycle of pit stops, the 2 has a little better stop. This merge back onto the racetrack. You see Jesse Love knows, his spotters told him, hey, the 88's coming off pit road. We got to get him cleared.
Watching bottom right and now full, what will be the battle for the race lead? Love, Eric Almirola, and Connor Zilich. Right now they're scored from 7th on back, but the top 6 have to make a pit stop in the cycle.
I'm going to tell you, a lot happened in 2 minutes right there, and we still have the same running order that we did before we had the green flag pit stops. Great job by all those guys. Interesting to see. Eric's car got too loose on that last run. If they've made the right adjustments to the 19 for what he needs on the little bit of a longer run right here, still have 52 laps to go. Just haven't seen anybody be able to check out. Every time somebody gets to the lead and you think they're going to be able to drive away, these 3 cars have been just kind of on top of one another all night long.
Still have 5 drivers that need to make a pit stop in the green flag cycle. When it's all done, Jesse Love will be the race leader. flag cycle is complete. NASCAR Xfinity Series racing in Las Vegas. Jesse Love able to maintain the top spot. We had a change for second. Connor Zilich able to get around Eric Almirola. It's amazing to me. We're on this long green flag run. We had a cycle of stops, and still the top three right here racing together. This has been outstanding.
We're having an incredible race right here. I mean, it's been that way all race long, and I promise you Jesse Love is screaming inside of the car to these lap cars, trying to get him out of the way or just to pick a lane. He obviously wants to run the bottom. But Zilich, looked, I thought he was going to be out of it. Had that little bit of fender damage, got into the 19's left rear earlier in the race. But he has just continued to get better and better. And we talk about how hard this pit road is to get onto. Kyle Sieg stayed out and ran long. These guys might not know that there are still some guys that haven't pitted. I want you to watch this. Look how close. Oh my gosh, for Connor and the 19 right there. That's happened before. Remember Texas, Mark Martin, I think J.J. Ailey had that happen years ago. Huge wreck, and you're not focused on those guys coming to pit road. I mean, these guys are racing for the lead, racing for their life right now.
You know, through the cycle, Sheldon Creed was the first to pit from 12th, and the pitting early has worked out on the short run. He's 5th in the running order, and all of that's because he pitted 6 laps earlier. I tell you what, the 00 team has done an outstanding job of battling back here tonight.
Yeah, and honestly, Adam, for pitting a little bit earlier, when you look at his lap times, they're not bad. I mean, he's a little bit off of these top 3, but when you look at Allgaier or Ryan Sieg, Sanchez, these guys right behind him, Creed's done a really good job at maintaining some pace through this run. Oh, got a little battle for the lead right here. You see the 88 pulling to the inside. It looks like the 2's struggling. Felt like he's had the best car. Connor's gonna get in there and pack some air.
Look at that 88 dancing in the corner.
All of them are. Look how tight the top 3 are right here. Jesse Love is struggling to get through this traffic.
You know, Jesse Love has won twice in his career. Last year as a rookie at Talladega, earlier this season at Daytona. But to win at a place like Las Vegas, locking yourself into the championship 4 would just mean so much and do so much for his confidence. He's had an unbelievable night.
He has, and it just doesn't seem like any of these top 3 can find a big advantage. I feel like at some point in the race tonight, we've thought all of them maybe had the best car, but through the tire fall off, the pace change, the shift from day to night, there's been so many variables in this race that they're still all right on top of each other.
And here we see the green flag cycle and what it produced, where everybody is now and compared to where they were earlier in the race. And it's just a little bit of a snapshot of what we're seeing.
See, Eric's lost a little bit of ground. He struggled to get through some of that traffic. Look right in front of the 2 car.
Yeah, that's Daniel Hemrick who's getting back on the lead lap. He pitted, you know, much later, was going to run it long, eventually had to make his pit stop, lost a lap, but he's now back on the tail end of the lead lap as Hemrick.
Yeah, Love wants him to get as far away and as fast as he can, because that's got to be affecting the balance of the 2 car. All these cars, so if you watch the 2, the 88, as they drive into the corner, you can see the back of the car really dancing around. I don't know if it's those guys fighting to get to the apron, using the apron to turn the car, if their balance is shifted a little bit loose. But it's just so weird to me. Like right now, it looks to me like the 2 cars starting to drive away. Ran a couple of tenths quicker than Connor Zilich did right behind him. But the trend will change in a few laps, and you'll see the 88 run him back down. It's incredible to me that we haven't had anybody check out tonight. What a race between these top 3.
.38 laps to go. You know, we talk about lap traffic and the role that it can play. And just the management of that and your car over the long haul. Top 5. Love, Zilich, Almirola, Allgaier, and Sanchez closing on the end at Las Vegas. Just over 30 laps to go. NASCAR Xfinity Series racing on a Saturday night, Las Vegas Motor Speedway. You win tonight as a playoff driver, and you make your way to the championship 4. Jesse Love in charge right now. He's going to be 20 laps out front when he comes across this time. Connor Zilic right there. Eric Almirola won both stages, has led the most laps in this race. He's still very much alive as we continue this long green flag run. And tonight, it's not only been about speed, but it's been about hanging on to your race car. How about this from Connor Zilic?
Oh, and I think Connor drove in a little deep, hoping he could pack some air on the 2 car and get him pushed up off the bottom. And as he got close to the 2 car, you saw exactly how loose he got.
2 young drivers racing for a spot here. 54 Taylor Gray, 17 Corey Day. And how about Corey Day? Through a cycle of green flag pit stop, stays in the top 10. The team didn't have the best stop, so really the spots he lost, not really on him. He really had a coming out party here tonight.
Yeah, he's done a great job all day long. And these races for Corey are all about learning experiences. And I don't know how many green flag stops he's been able to make in his career, but you know, the trucks and Xfinity cars just don't make a lot of those. So great experience for him to practice getting on and off pit road, not get caught speeding, go through that whole process. And he's done a great job, stayed out of trouble all day long.
If you go back to most of his starts this year, at some point he's faced adversity. Each time he's come back, look at this. Drivers trying to stay on the lead lap.
Oh, man.
Or a lap down already. And maybe going to hold up the leaders. Love able to get by Sammy Smith. 24 is Trevor Bayne, and that allows Zilic to close. The next guy they'll see, to Benedetto.
Oh, he's going to get inside of him right here. You saw the 2 get loose.
Pass for the lead in traffic. Connor Zilic gets by Jesse Love. He's out front. 29 to go at Vegas.
Jesse barely missed the entry of that corner. He had a little different angle.
Caution out for Dean Thompson. 4th of the night. 2nd for an issue on track. Thompson was running 22nd. Right now showing 19 cars on the lead lap. They had just gotten around the leaders, had Bayne and Smith.
Well, we're going to get one more shot.
Everybody's got a set of tires.
We've got some tires, and everybody gets to make one more shot and adjustment to see if they can get just a little bit better. Jesse Love's going to be frustrated to lose it and then have the caution come out right there.
A couple of things to think about with pit stops in the offing. Number 1 pit stall right now for the 88 of Connor Zilic after he won the pole last week at the Roval, and just how good that RCR team has been on pit road and delivering for Jesse Love tonight.
Yeah, as we go back and are able to look at this pass that we had for the lead, Jesse's angle into turn 3 was off because of the lap cars, and when he missed the bottom, you see Connor's able to just drive in there and pack a little bit of air. It's just no grip when you get that car, or the half a car length off the bottom. 88 was able to hook the bottom. You see how much lower he is right here? Just gasses it up, gas to get to him. You see he gets a little bit arrow loose right there. It's over. 88 has the momentum, able to clear him. But that all started. Stockman's going to get frustrated right here because he knows how important the track position is. But that all started in turn 2 with Sammy Smith, and I think Trevor Bayne was on the outside. Let's get a look here at Dean Thompson getting loose, really loose early, and slid all the way around. But yeah, so that pass was because of the lap cars, and we knew they were going to play a factor at him just because of how close those top 3 have been all night long.
The timing of the caution big for Trevor Bayne because he was scored the last car on the lead lap, so he stays on the lead lap. Sammy Smith, the first car 1 lap down at the time of caution. He's 21st and will get the free pass here. And that's huge for Sammy because as a playoff driver, you don't want to be a lap down knowing that every position is a point. Here's 88 radio Connor Zilic.
The highest my heart rate has been in a race in a while. 191. Got water in there? Yeah, it's just about gone.
A little bit of that heart rate is anxiety, right? Like your death grip in the wheel. I think these guys are having to work harder than what we can appreciate watching the back of those cars dance around while those guys will wear heart rate monitors and able to look at that. I'm a little old for 191, but that's really high even if you're young, Adam.
191 is a strong number.
It is. It's been exciting to watch, and it's far from over right now because those top 3 are so close together and know how important the restarts are.
And you can talk all you want about points and your advantage and all that. You want to win so that you don't have any stress at Talladega or Martinsville. Execution on pit road is going to be huge. That's one big box to check. And then once we get that restart, we know what an important role that has played in this race tonight.
A lot of pressure on these pit crews right here coming down for their last stop, knowing how important it can be. And we've seen a lot of issues on pit road tonight for the playoff drivers.
Heart rate was up for Connor Zilisch behind the wheel. Now the heart rate is up for all these pit crews. Progressive pit road is open. 88 coming down with Love, Almirola, Allgaier, and Sanchez. Kim?
And fresh tires will be an absolute premium here. Expect all teams to take 4. For Eric Almirola, he said, I'm just a little snug. I need a little bit more turn, especially for the short run. You see him top of your screen, middle of your screen, Jesse Love, just a little too free. Despite that freeness, crew chief Danny Stockman said, we will make no adjustments. Their crew has been lights out all day. And then finally, Connor Zilisch at the bottom. They'll expect to tighten it up just a little bit. He said he was too loose, especially along the bottom in 3 and 4.
19 away, 2 away. Number 1 pit stall, Connor Zilisch. 88 hold serve. Almirola able to get around the 2 of Jesse Love. They exchange positions. +1 for Sanchez. Allgaier goes 1 in the wrong direction. You want control. Zilisch has got it. First part of the equation on the racetrack. Second on pit road. 88 doing it again. Connor Zilisch out front for the restart in Vegas. CW Sports coverage of the NASCAR Xfinity Series is brought to you by Echo Park Automotive, where car buying is easier, better, and happier. Toyota, let's go places. And by Bristol Myers Squibb. Yellow comes out late in Las Vegas, so the Whelen caution lights are on. Whelen, the official warning lights of NASCAR and America's most trusted manufacturer of emergency lights and sirens. Zilisch leading when he came to pit road, wins the battle off the pit lane, but some anxious times for the rookie driver. Listen to team radio as we get ready for the restart.
Hopefully I didn't speed. Am I okay? Hello, hello. I got you. Nothing about it. Copy. Let me know. Just quit talking about it.
I'm gonna tell you what, that's a terrible feeling when you think that you have sped and you're just waiting on that radio to get keyed for them to tell you that you've got a penalty, but fortunately, no issue.
To me, it's like you took the test, but the score hadn't been entered yet. You know, you're like, how did I do? Please put it in so I know. All right, so Zilic takes the inside lane, going to have Love behind him. Almirola outside. Inside lane has been the ticket for everybody tonight, and Zilic exploded from that lane on the last restart.
But the 19 has gotten the lead from the outside on a couple of these restarts we've seen. If I'm a spotter for the 88, crew chief for the 88, I am warning him of what the 2 car did earlier in the race, made it 3 wide with Allgaier. You got to know that getting control of this race, how important, if this is our last restart, just how important that's going to be. It's going to be exciting. I can't wait.
23 to go at Vegas, and the leaders heading to the Echo Park restart zone. Zilic and Almirola up front.
My heart rate's high now.
Mine's not 190.
I love it.
But it's churning. Nice jump again, inside lane, Connor Zilic.
Yeah, but I think the 19 might have a little bit of momentum. Oh, the 2 tried to get inside. 19's been tough on the outside, especially if he can keep it at him as they get down to turn 3.
Off of turn 2, dead heat, down the Nulla straightaway. Here they come to turn 3.
See that 88 gets loose on the inside.
Look like a little smoke there for Sanchez. Side by side in that second row. Love dancing up near the 48. Lead still not decided.
Oh, the 88 got a little wiggle right there. Probably had to check up. Love lost his momentum. Oh, doesn't clear him though.
And look at Sanchez. Thought about making it 3 wide.
Sanchez has been really good on this restart.
Here is Zilic. Finally all clear out front. Sanchez coming through to second. Contact with Almirola.
They're like, where did Sanchez come from? We haven't seen him all night long.
Had a good start to the race. Speeding penalty set him back, but he has been on the move ever since. Rookie driver failed to advance to the round of 8, but he said, I just want wins and momentum to end the year. And boy, is he aggressive here in the latter stages.
Yeah, and all this contact you see on the straightaway is just a side draft. You're just trying to stall that car out if it has any momentum on you, and you build the momentum for the entry of the corner.
Playoff drivers highlighted in blue. You win tonight, you move to the championship 4, and your name will be highlighted in green. Points as they run, 20 to go. Love having a great night. Mayer above the cut line. Quample and Smith still plenty of work to do. And all those playoff drivers on the lead lap and running inside the top 20.
Zilic in control right now, running about a 10th quicker than what Eric is. I think part of Eric's problem is that he's having to defend Sanchez behind him. Sanchez is quick, though. He's been able to run, gosh, all over this racetrack. Get inside of the 19 right now. Gosh, what a story that would be if he's able to go up and challenge Connor if he can clear the 19.
Winner earlier this season, Echo Park Speedway in Atlanta with Sanchez. Would love to get win number 2.
Oh, he is so loose on the bottom of Eric. Kind of committed to it, wasn't able to stay in the gas.
Boy, and that wiggle and loss of momentum opens the door for Jesse Love.
Incredible that saw that car get out from underneath him, and not only did it cost him the race for second, but it's allowed Jesse Love to get inside of him.
I'll tell you what, you talk about that side draft, and worlds kind of almost collide as they merge together and try to gain that advantage.
Gosh, it looked like that 48 had a car that go up and challenge to the lead, and now he's struggling to hang on for third. See these guys towards the end of the race. Sanchez giving him no room. 2 cars probably hanging on right there. Cars sucking him around on the outside. You see those guys chasing each other all over the straightaways, just trying to slow each other down. But again, it's going to bring the 7 into this behind. Watch how loose the 48 gets here. Oh, doesn't look bad on TV, but I'm telling you, inside the car, that will get your attention. See right there, Allgaier, because those guys race side by side, It's brought him back into the picture.
Allgaier just finds his way. One of the best all time at Las Vegas, one here in the spring. Been quiet tonight, but when you come in with the points cushion that he had, what he's doing is going to put him in position on points to advance once again to the championship 4. Just getting him where he needs to be above that cut line with Talladega and Martinsville still in the offing. And you know what, you get another caution. Who knows with a restart late in this race. Allgaier is in position and trying to get third from Sanchez. 14 laps to go.
Yeah, and I've been watching the lap times of the leaders, and Zilich checked out, had about a second lead, but the last 2 laps, Almirola's run just a little higher on the racetrack at both ends. Been able to run over a 1/10 quicker, only about a half a second back right now. See that line, those two leaders are running. Connor's moving around. Let's see what they run this time by lap time wise. 2/10 that time that the 19 was able to run him down. It's been this way all night long though. We've seen a leader not be able to check out. You see Eric's running just slightly higher. Seems like the 19 has been able to have some success running over a little higher those bumps that we talk about in turns 1 and 2. Connor's spotter's got to be telling him as Allgaier goes by. Sanchez right here for third. Sanchez trying to fight back, looks really loose on the outside.
Good job, buddy.
Eddie DeHaan being really excited again on the radio.
12 to go, and I look at Zilich out front driving for Junior Motorsports. Almirola in second in that 19. It takes me back to the spring when it was Allgaier leading for JRM. Almirola second, and he just couldn't find his way around. Similar situation here.
Down to 3/10. They ran about the same lap time. You see Eric now has chosen to go to the bottom. It seems to me like he's making, ooh, that was a good 3 and 4 for the 19.
Well, and as they continue to race, might open the door for Allgaier. You know what a bulldog he is.
Zilich gonna have to run the middle right here. He's gonna have to take there he goes. Good move by Zilich. You gotta run the middle, take the line away from Eric. Eric judged that.
Oh, and Zilich off the corner. Zilich, you see that thing throwing out?
Totally full defense mode right now for Connor. He's just going to try to run where he thinks Eric needs to be. But look at the last time. Oh, Eric has missed the bottom right there. Going to lose a little bit of time down the front stretch. See what Connor chooses to do. I think running that middle lane, it seems like that's where Eric's been the best at Adam.
10 laps to go.
That's an eternity if you're leading this race right now. It's only about 5 minutes time-wise.
Corey Day,
wow,
looking at a top 5 going around Jesse Love. Unbelievable night for the 17.
Yeah, great night for him. Oh,
look at this, for the lead.
Look at the brake rotors on the 19. We get back in there. Brake rotors are hot on the front of that car.
88 is dancing, slides up in front of the 19 of Almirola. Zilich out front, 9 remaining in Vegas.
Well, if I'm the 19, I'd rather get to his outside. I think that's an easier pass to complete. See, oh, Connor is loose right there. The 19's gonna have some momentum. It's gonna beat his inside off turn 2.
Here comes Almirola charging to the inside. Can he complete the pass? He goes up, contact, 88 out of line, and it's Almirola who takes over the race lead.
God, the side draft has taken on a whole different level of aggression tonight. All of these guys all night long doing that.
8 to go.
It's not over. We've seen this all race long. I think that's the 19's preferred lane right there. See what Connor can do on the bottom. He's super loose out front. 19 had a really good corner right there. Oh, look how loose the 88 was coming off. Side draft. Eric has to move back up. Connor's got to know that. But it is for the lead with 10 to go. You can't blame him. Gosh, we're lucky it didn't cut a tire down right there on one of those cars.
Second time tonight, we've seen these two get together. Last time we thought there could be damage that would impact the 88, but he has soldiered on, stays right in the game. 7 laps remaining, 6.5 as they go down the back straightaway.
I can't wait to hear these guys after the race explain why once you get the lead, you can't drive away. It makes no sense. Oh, look how loose the 88 is. Hanging on, that's going to help the 19 a ton right there. Yes, that is exactly what he's thinking inside of the car. So frustrating.
We'll get another chance out of there.
Last 2 mile-and-a-half races, Connor Zilic has finished second. You think about everything he's done. He's never won on a mile-and-a-half track. Lost the lead with 8 laps to go. It'll be 5 this time around. He's got to load it up for one more rally if he's going to get Almirola.
Yeah, we got a little bit of lap traffic. As you see, Corey Day, he's not content with the top 5. The 17 car is having his best run of the night at the perfect time.
4th for driver 17. Sanchez having a good evening as well. Top 5 right now for him.
Yeah, great run by the 17. You can't say enough. Doesn't look like there's a scratch on that car. Good in practice. Qualifying looked like it was gonna be good. Missed 3 and 4, but just having an epic night. I don't know if the 88's gonna have what he needs. We'll see their lap time when they cross right here. Ooh, well, about 2/10 that lap. Of course, the 88 was a little bit quicker. Still 4 to go.
Going around the 35, Mason Maggio, the lap car. See if that does anything to help out Zilic. Both cleanly around. We'll see 3 to go this time. Eric Almirola, part-time driver, won the playoff opener at Bristol in the round of 12. Trying to do the same here in the round of 8.
Well, we're going to have a race. The 88 is definitely catching him. Another 3/10 that lap. It's almost like you get a little bit of a draft. Eric's been that. Oh, look how loose the 88 got right there on entry. Gosh.
He's not afraid. Throwing it in is Connor Zilic. 2.5 laps to go. And I can't wait to see how aggressive he is if he gets there. These two have traded blows all night long.
Oh, you see the 88, he is fighting inside of that car. It's dancing on him in the back end. He's loose, and it gets worse as he gets tight to the 19. I almost think the 19 maybe run the bottom right here. Just trying to take the line away. Oh, the 88 is yawed out all the way around the corner right there.
Incredible job hanging on to it for Zilic. Not out of the game yet. We'll see the white flag this time around.
It is amazing that they are driving these cars so hung out right now. Look at the 88, lap after lap.
White flag in the air. 1 lap to go. Sponsored by Credit One Bank. Eric Almirola in front of Connor Zilic. Eric Almirola made his first ever Cup start right here in Las Vegas. A special place for him. He was a runner-up in the spring, so you know he wanted to get back to the top of the mountain, and he's going to do it here tonight. Coming off of turn 4, Eric Almirola sweeps the stages, and he wins the opening race in the round of 8. Give it to number 19.
Man, what a race. I mean, all race long. Not one dominant car. We had 3 or 4 guys.
Zilic comes home second, his 3rd consecutive runner-up finish on a 1.5-mile track. Allgaier won here in the spring. He's 3rd. Career best for Corey Day. Top 5 for Sanchez. Love's so good tonight, leading 22 laps, finishes 6th. And Mayer, the only other playoff driver inside the top 10.
Got the family here this weekend.
Love that.
Yep. That's so sweet.
Won earlier this season out west, did Eric Almirola.
Great drive, man. Awesome.
That time he did it at Phoenix in thrilling fashion. Tonight, it was a big finish as well as he holds off Connor Zilic. Mentioned how close he was here in the springtime, but able to get over the top here tonight. 3rd win of the year. Joe Gibbs, a tremendous leader for his team.
Such a great tradition they have, saying a prayer after the race. Great leader.
Eric, a part of the Owners' Championship, this 19 team is. So that gets them to the championship 4 to run for a title on the owner side.
Gotta think that Eric's just having time of his life with no pressure. in the Xfinity Series. Every single time he's in this 19 car, he's a threat to win. Won a lot of races in this, and just seems like he's enjoying it.
How about the last 2 years? Non-playoff drivers have won 5 of the 11 playoff races. 4 of those
continues.
Going to Eric Almirola. 7 times a non-playoff driver has won the opening race in the round of 8, with the number 19 car getting to victory lane tonight. And here come the kids.
Yeah, Alex and Abby go out there and say hi to Dad. That's a good smell, that burnt rubber, those donuts.
Well, and Eric's 41 years old, and he does this part-time. I don't want to say this is his golf game.
Kinda.
But I got to say, like, he comes back and just offers so much to the organization. Winning is the icing on the cake.
That's what it's all about right there.
100%.
What about that, Dad? So sweet.
I love that. Never a doubt. Eric might disagree with that comment.
That's right.
He's glad it's over now.
Right.
Whole family is here. Alex and Abby, wife Janice is here as well. Man, what a race. Almirola so good here in the spring as well, and finally able to get it done here in the fall race here in Las Vegas. And get the helmet off. Man, they made you earn that one. How did you go about those last few laps and just placing your car where it needed to be to not only get by the 88, but then hold him off too?
Oh, man. First, thank you, God. This is such an unbelievable opportunity to do this with the Signatory and Young Life. They have watch parties all over the globe with these Young Life kids, and it's so much fun to be a part of this. Thank you, Coach. Such an awesome honor to go race for an owner's championship with J.D. Gibbs' name on the car and the whole Gibbs family. I'm having so much fun. This is the time of my life, man. So our car was good. Our car was really good. But the longer I ran, the tighter I got. And I was just struggling on that long run in the beginning of stage 3. And finally that restart there, I just took off incredibly tight. And I couldn't get going. The 48 kind of slowed my momentum down. And finally, I got clear of him and was able to go chase the 88 down. He looked pretty loose, and I was able to capitalize on that.
Well done. Congratulations. Eric Almirola in the 19, back in victory lane.
And Connor Zilic having a word with his teammate Justin Allgaier about, looks like, how they were both handling the end of the race. But man, we'll have to settle for second here. I know you were frustrated with yourself and with the car there at the end, but you told your team after the checkers, you apologized, you said, I was so close, I should have been more aggressive. If given the last laps of that race back, how would you have done things differently?
Yeah, I mean, the frustration just comes from how much this stuff means a lot to me, and a chance to lock into Phoenix, you got to take it. So yeah, I mean, I gave it my all. I drove as hard as I could, but yeah, I guess it's all we had today. So yeah, I mean, I just got to do a better job. I just could not wrap the line. I sucked here in the spring for the same reason, and we were just really loose and struggled to move around, and just didn't have what it took. So we'll go back to the drawing board. Our WeatherTech Chevrolet was as fast as Xfinity Mobile all day long, and we put ourselves in the right spots, but unfortunately I just didn't come away with it.
You leave plus 82. I know both Talladega and Martinsville are kind of considered wild cards. Is there comfort, though, in plus 82?
Yeah, plus 82 is not bad. It could be a lot worse, but having another win sticker on this thing definitely would have been better.
He's all about the W's, is CZ. Connor Zilic comes up short tonight, frustrated, but no doubt the points advantage will be what he's thinking about as he gets his arms around things and we head to Talladega next Saturday afternoon. Eric Almirola, late rally, makes the pass inside of 10 laps to go, and he's able to hang on and win it over Connor Zilic. And how special is this? Dad wins, but before you hug your dad, you get to hug the coach. Burn it down. Win number 3, AA. Eric Almirola gets it done in Las Vegas.